Yo, what's up you guys? It's your boy the Kryptonian Saiyan bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 162. And once again, this is one of those chapters where there's not a whole bunch of action in it, so you would think it wouldn't be very entertaining. But I found a lot in this chapter that I thought was very interesting, and what I'm referring to is the fact that we are seeing a lot of character development and just building up of the Straw Hats in general, just seeing their chemistry built up, kind of fleshed out. So this is really good. This served the purpose for this. If you want action, you really just need to look at the cover story, because again, you got Django kicking ass and taking names. I mean, this was that cover story was good, but the real meat of this chapter is seeing the different conflicts that arises with the Straw Hat crew. And one of the things that just really stood out to me was the fact that Luffy complained a lot. Luffy, for the most part, I give Luffy a lot of shit. But at the same time, Luffy always came off to me as one of those characters where he was like, okay, I might have messed up, but let me just go ahead and see if I can't fix it. Let's just keep going forward. And I don't know if it's the heat, which it is very possible it's the heat. I told you guys in the past, like when I moved down to Florida, when I lived in Florida, and also when I lived in Texas, it was a huge change for me because I wasn't used to the humidity. And one of the things that I definitely noticed when I was down there is I was a lot more grumpy than I usually was, because it was just a complete shock to me. And I'm wondering if that's part of Luffy's stuff, because I'm not used to Luffy complaining like that. He lost rock, paper, scissors. He's supposed to drag all the supplies and all the personal belongings. He's bitching and moaning about it. Not cool. You're the captain. And while I can understand you're a leader, you really want to delegate. Sometimes as a leader, you just have to just, put on your big girl Hello Kitty panties and just do whatever is needed for you. And in this case, Luffy was not acting like the buttercup princess I know that he can act like. And with that being said, I did like how, once again, Vivi is showing that she is used to whatever it is that they are going through in terms of dealing with the heat and fighting off and not needing as much water or needing as much food. She's keeping her wits about her. I like seeing that, because while Luffy, it was, supposed to act like that, because again, Luffy's not used to it. And the different Straw Hat pirates aren't used to it, especially Chopper. I related heavily to Chopper because he said, I'm from the cold. I'm not used to this heat. And I like how Zoro was being the mature one. I was expecting Luffy to be the one to drag Chopper around, not Zoro. But Zoro, once again, he's doing the manly thing. He's dragging Chopper, and he tells him flat out, if you got the energy to make yourself big, I'm not going to drag you around. So I like that. Then after they got their supplies stolen, Zoro tells everyone, just quit bitching and moaning about it. If you bitch, you're gonna waste energy. We'll be at our destination by the end of the day. Just let it go. That is the mature thing. I like seeing that. It's almost like we had Vivi and Zoro being the parents out of this bunch. So this is pretty good. Now, with that being said, I did like how Luffy's character did stay consistent. He thought those birds were dying, so Luffy said Chopper helped them. I thought that was cool, but also I like how, once again, we are seeing that when you are on the Grand Line, you have to keep both eyes peeled, both eyes open. There's an old expression that hustlers sleep with one eye open. You have to have that mentality if you're going to survive out here. I'm seeing that. And this falls on Vivi a little bit, because this is your home country. They are depending on you to steer them in the right direction, to help them avoid the pitfalls. You should know these things. And I think a big part of that is the fact that Vivi, she's in her home country and she's comfortable, and she's got other shit on her mind too, because she just dropped a bombshell in the last chapter, and emotionally you have to understand she's probably not all the way there, because she basically told them, like, this is what Crocodile did. I have to get home. I have to fix this. She has a huge burden on her. So I can understand why there are some things she might have left out, but at the same time, I think that, once again, if you are going to be a leader, there are certain times you have to put on your big girl panties and just suck it up. And that wasn't the case with Vivi. That wasn't the case with Luffy at this point. And I gotta say, I have a small problem with Sanji in this chapter. Sanji, I like Sanji's character, and I did think it was pretty cool how he just flipped the switch, and after they defeat this monster that was in the desert, they end up cooking him and eating him. But at the same time, Sanji, dude, you gotta grow a pair of balls, man. You gotta grow a pair of balls. He says, well, we can only eat it if Vivi says we can eat it. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, I don't have a problem with that, but at a certain point, you gotta lead. You gotta lead. You're over the food. That is your jurisdiction. That is what you are responsible for. You know that you need to ration this stuff out. You should have a plan for it. So that was my gripe with Sanji, man. I didn't really mind how he was getting on to Luffy about drinking too much because Sanji has been there. Again, part of Sanji's thing is he was stranded for, I think, 80-something days. So I can understand where Sanji's coming from saying we need to make that water last. Because water's not going to make you get hungry. Water's going to keep your body going. It's going to keep your body from shutting down. And I thought it was a very interesting line where one of them says that they can't actually sweat anymore because if you've actually been that hot, you can understand it. And I like another thing that was thrown in, more real world science is thrown into this series, into this manga. And that's when Vivi says in the desert at night, temperatures get really, really cold. That is something a lot of people don't understand. I mean, it blows my mind that a lot of people don't understand these two things, that when you get in extreme areas like that, they get extremely hot and they get extremely cold. Another thing is water only gets cold up inside, I believe, 3 feet underneath, and then the temperature actually starts going back up. So I like that One Piece is incorporating actual real world science into it. So overall, pretty good chapter. The chapter ends off with the chapter ends off with Nami riding on this camel that Luffy and the others had saved. And the camel, I love the camel, man. The camel, I know I just gave Sanji some shit for this, but fuck it. I'm going to give the camel some stuff, though. You know, the camel's like, hey, I'm only really going to give rise to the women. And I like this shot here where Luffy and the others, they are fucking pissed off. Right here. The camel, after Chopper says, he says he was just passing through. He thanks you for saving him. He's willing to give rides, but only to women. And right there, Sanji and them, they're pissed, man. They say, that's ungrateful. Do you think, who do you think saved your life? And Nami right away, she's just flirting with him. Were those pirates mean to you? You're a good boy. What's your name? Oh, she's got him eating out the palm of her hand. This is beautiful, man. And, you know, I like how she offers Vivi the ride because there's only 2 people that can get carried. And Vivi says, thank you, I'll walk. And I think that it was very much needed for 2 reasons. One, it gives an opportunity for us to potentially see something happen to Nami, because she has been separated from the crew. But the other thing is, and it will raise the stakes, because if she's in that city and it's shaking, that would lead for them to have to find her in the next chapter. But the other thing is Vivi's character, this is her journey. And for her to just skip ahead like that, and we're following Luffy and the others, it's needed for Vivi to be there. From an artistic standpoint, that was a very good decision. From a writing standpoint, that was a very better decision, because Vivi being in that desert with them as they're traveling, it opens up more possibilities. For her being in the main crew at this point, more possibilities from a storytelling aspect. And once again, this whole Alabasta arc is about Vivi. So this is cool. This is cool. Overall, this was a very good chapter, guys. My chapter question for you guys is, have you ever experienced anything like Luffy and the others? Have you, say, gone from a very cold climate like I did to a hot climate? Or have you gotten to a point where you're so caught up in what's going on around you that you end up losing yourself? You end up snapping and going off on people. Let me know in the comment section down below. But as always, if you like anything I had to say, make sure you hit that like button, comment, rate, subscribe, share. I'll greatly appreciate it.